All right, in this video, I wanted to talk about something that kind of snuck into the previous week's release. Uh, the new Rare Monster Hunt was this week, but last week they actually added in, they didn't have the little picture there. They actually had, well, Nightangel was second place on the dev ticket uh, contest, on the donation contest from the summer, and originally, he didn't release his weapon, um, but he wanted to play with it for a little bit by himself, and then I think also there was a sizing issue with the weapon, but uh, it is now released. It's in the Z Token shop, and it's called Incarnation. And here it is here. And basically, you have this little, I don't even know what you would call this, that sits in the palm of the player's hand, and then there's this little night angel that sort of hovers above it. So it's unique. It's very cool. Cool colors, I think. But basically, what it is it's a clone of Independence Dagger and Ancient Mother Staff, but for Wind Element. And so, let's see here. Let's go ahead and get it out. So the biggest thing with these types of weapons is to try to stack elevons in order to um, utilize maybe some pet and guest heals. And so the idea here, um, obviously, is mosquitoes. So that's mosquitoes are what was in mind by making this weapon. Um, so specifically, the big thing here is using it with mosquito. Each mosquito is actually 2 hits, so you're going to get about I think it's 5.36% elevon per landed hit. So it works very well. It's uncapped. It works very well with something like Bard of War, since it's going to give celerity to your pet and guest. So you'll attack, and then your pet and guest will go 2 times, and then it should attempt. So we had what 132% total elevon, and the value of this elevon, because it's 1 turn, it means that it remains at 0 turn. So what's going to happen is I'll hit attack, and then the guest's damage will be heightened by 132%. As you can see, it stays, and it's like a real-time application. So by the time the pet goes, especially on a celerity, it's basically um, on its last turn, it's basically almost double damage boosted uh, because of the elevon stack. So beginning turn 2, so you have basically some pretty significant heals. What's cool about the mosquitoes is you could just toggle it to heal whatever resource you want. For some reason, they seem to be missing quite a bit here. There we go. So that's just the incarnation weapon in its basic form. But what you want to try to do is to find some stacks. So let's see if we can find some stacks here. So there's some just basic ideas. Let me change. See if I can change wind element. All right. So instead of just a basic attack like this, there's the special. I think that copies the dagger, if I'm not mistaken. You could always do, maybe you could start off with the shadow feeder here. And then you could actually, the first turn, actually, I forgot to grab it, but you could use a Wish Weaver weapon. Let's go grab it real quick. You could use Wish Weaver weapon and uh, maybe do the skill. Let's see here. I'll go ahead and swap this guy here. I meant to do this a second ago. My internet connection's having some kind of hiccup here. All right. Now let's see what we can get. All right. So like I said, we would start off with celerity, and then we're going to do the Witch Weaver. So this is just a basic idea here. So then you get your elon there, and then you just swap over to. You could do a skill here or whatever, but so this is going to stack on top of that there. And it's not going to actually be the 5.36 because you have the uh, elevon in place. So from scratch, it's usually 5.36. And then you can always, if you wanted to, you go back basically on top with Power Gauntlet. So now we're up to 220. And then maybe you could grab Wish Weaver Misk and then just attack and get it to do an elevon. So now that's up to 236. So you can continuously build from there. I'm actually going to flee from this guy. I'm just trying to showcase here. It's going to blow me up there. All right, so let's see. So if you just use the Wish Weaver Misk, it should do 150, but it's a 0 turn, and so you have a separate stack. So that 150 there will, if you just continue to use it, so it's an option. But what it's doing is, as you notice, so we have that 116, the 0 turn. The Wish Weaver is actually going to go on top of that. So now we have 166, and then it starts over. So it's a little bit of different interaction. Which I found to be unique. If you wanted to, you could actually use this combo with Wish Weaver Armor. Get its own elevon, so combined now that's up to 180. So basically you have that 180 that's boosting your mosquitoes right off the bat. If you wanted to go with a more offensive approach, and remember, mosquitoes will heal based on damage. So anything that increases damage is going to increase mosquitoes' heals. And then obviously using Optico is probably going to be your most optimum setup. There's also, from the Broom Strider package, this Arcane Express, and if you pick this option, if it's a permanent elevon, it'll top out at 120%. That's a certain percent times the number of hits. And as you can see, it just stays there, and then you can just cast it and cast it. So one of the hits missed that time, so we have a 116. So doing it this way will actually each turn will increase your damage because your weapons actually also uh, getting the elevon that's there. Now I wanted to show off a bug that has been reported. Supposedly it's been keyed in as a fix. It's been fixed, but it's got to roll live, I guess, with the next whatever rollout. See if I get blown up here. All right, so I just wanted to see if I could show this before I may get blown up here. I just want to showcase. So what I'm going to do is I have Arcane Express, 120%. Wishweaver Armor and Mist. You could do either one. I'll have both. It'll actually sort of eat this Arcane Express elevon, make it disappear. This time it failed the inflict, so monster has 275 intelligence, so it resisted. I believe it's the misc anyway is dexterity main stat versus intelligence. So I don't have dex, so there was probably no chance there. All right, let's try it here just to show it. All right, let's see if we can get it. Okay, so we've got the permanent elevon there. So again, that 112 there will disappear right now. As you can see, it was replaced by the pre-fired, in this case, the misc. So that's a bug that's going to be fixed. So once that's fixed, what you'll have is you'll have the ability to stack this with that. All right, so really quick, I'm going to end this on what I think is the best stack, the best way to go here. I guess this monster's fine. I think the best way to go is actually utilizing Solneko, because it will inflict a wind burn because you on your wind pet guest. On all you're going to do is just spam Arcane Express, and I'm purposefully not on MP mode right now because Arcane Express is an overcharged spell. So it's costing 915 MP. So what I'm going to do is actually swap these guys to MP mode. I cast this again. So I'm down to 645 MP. So let's see what we can manage to get out of the mosquitoes now that we have a couple of inflictions. So that was 1272 MP right there. So as you can see, by turn 2, you are going to basically start healing back your MP. It'll exceed what you're actually spending, and then all of these it actually failed that time. All of these stacked Arcane Express elevons are going to add to the burn damage each turn. Actually, this time I'm going to let's do a Shadow Feeder. Let's get some accuracy and some potence. And that's also accuracy for your pet guess now. I think it's about 4 BTH. So now I'm going to be down to 490 MP. The guess is actually going to cost 157 MP per turn. But watch just from the guess damage here, 636, then 756, and then the pet's going to destroy it. 1800 and 780. Now let's watch and see what the burn damage does. We have 2972 hit points. So it actually did, let's see here. So we did 798 bleed harm damage. Does have burn damage, right? Interesting. Let's see here. It may have not inflicted. But as you can see, the MP heals are insane. Let's see if we find some burn damage in here. There's the bleed. I'm actually not seeing burn damage in here. It must be resisting. But as you can see, you have this stack going on. Also, as you notice, Arcane Express, so there's that one line that showed 140. So instead of doing a separate line, it'll just stack on itself on celerity. Eventually, you're going to get enough elons that you can take Mosquito, and they both no longer have to be on MP heal. What you're going to see here is right from the start, you could do a celerity and then just spam Arcane Express 2 times. I'm down to 802 MP already. So let's see what I get. 433 and 219. And then 538 and 178. So I'm up to 1856. So that should be enough to spam it 2 more times if I wanted to. But because we now have that turn worth of Incarnation, I'm just going to cast it 1 time. And we should be closing in on enough. Let's see. I still don't see wind burn, wind melee. I wonder if something's going on here. Oh, I never turned it on. That's crazy. All right. So let's go ahead and this should be a lot better now. All right, finally a monster with a lot of hit points. Okay. Now keep in mind, wind resistance is only 80%. So I'm going to start off with celerity. Let's go ahead and cast this guy 2 times. Should not have any issues with accuracy. pretty low blocking for the monster and a lot of hit points. So now you're going to really see the total stack here because I derped and didn't even bother turning on the fucking burn. But as you can see, I've pretty much healed back my uh, MP, and you can basically do this over again. And really at this point, after this turn, I think you won't even have to have both on MP. You could change one to SP or HP depending on the situation. And keep in mind these are pure stacks because they're different line items. So the guest just did 2k MP, and then the pet's now almost 3k MP. So like I said, there's no reason to have them both on MP now. Now let's find, so we're now at 688 burn damage, and it's only going to increase. So I'm going to actually change this guy to HP mode. So let's see what happens with that. So just you could also swap it. Go him. He's MP. He's HP. Your pet's gonna outperform your guest because of Optico. As you can see, now I'm healing enough. HP now. And then let's see what the burn damage was here. 321, and then remember you also have the bleed. So you're doing about 1,000 damage at DOTs. And then because if you have all the elons stacks, the offense starts to get better and better. But overall, I find that's probably the best stack. Just uh, essentially uh, casting Arcane Express, and I think once the Wishweaver stuff, those bugs get fixed, you can utilize it if you don't want to use Optico. But all in all, I think that the Ancient Mother Staff, Independent Staker, and now Incarnation concept is always welcome. Um, Works pretty well if you want to. Um, if they ever make a wind Elevon guest, if they ever do that, then you're probably going to be looking at using that instead of Mosquito Guest because it'll just enhance the pet. But until then, I think just using dual mosquitoes will work. Um, Now, you could get into doggy armor, and then you could use the Zorback ally assist, or if you want to use the ebony sepulchre armor and make a monster undead, and then use the doggy armor, and then you can use something like Queen Aegea, and as long as wind element is the worst element, its light Elevon will change to wind Elevon. So you could do that if you wanted to. But ultimately, cool looking weapon. I really like the fact that it's something that you can sort of lean into for mosquitoes um, and really get some pretty crazy heals. Uh, again, uh, if they ever make a Wind Elevon guest, it'll just make this a lot better. But that's it for this video.